All right, Shalom. Before we start, I'm going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, that title, well, I got a title, but I might change it. It says The Fall of Rome / The Fall of Babylon, which is America. All right, and I might change, like I said, I might change the title around. But, yeah, The Fall of Rome, or I might change it to The Fall of Rome is synonymous with the fall of Babylon, which is America. All right. So, and yeah, the fall of Rome, I got an article pulled up. Well, something like that. I was just reading on, different things that happened in Rome. You know, and and I came upon the ancient Rome, the fall of Rome. All right, and we know Rome is was one of the four beasts that Daniel was prophesied about in this vision, or in the book of Daniel. All right, and you know that America is the revival of Rome. All right, so I'm gonna get into the article. It says I'm gonna put the article in the link. It says ancient Rome, the fall of Rome. It says Rome ruled much of Europe around the Mediterranean for over 1,000 years. However, the inner workings of the Roman Empire began to decline starting around 200 AD. By 400 AD, Rome was struggling under the weight of its giant empire. The city of Rome finally fell in 476 AD. All right, so I'll give you a little insight. It says the peak power of Rome. It says Rome reached its peak of power in the second century around the year 117 AD under the rule of the great Roman Emperor Trajan. Virtually all of the coastline along the Mediterranean Sea was part of the Roman Empire. This included Spain, Italy, France, southern Britain, Turkey, Israel, Egypt, and Northern America. And there was another thing. When you type in the Roman Empire, right? No, the NATO and the elder Yashawama brought this out. I believe is it this? It might be. It's the same. It's the same thing. So you got all these. So it says, let's read this. It says Rome reached its peak of power in the second century AD, around the year 117 AD, under the rule of the great Roman Emperor Trajan. Virtually all the coastline along the Mediterranean Sea was part of the Roman Empire. This included Spain, Italy, France, southern Britain, Turkey, Israel, Egypt, and northern Africa. All right, I keep doing that. So you can look at it. You got Spain, France, Italy, Turkey right here. So this was part of the Roman Empire. Well, this is they in the EU, but like I said, this is the revival of Rome. Let's see if I can bring it up. Well, they got the map on there, but I'll just do it this way. So yeah, you got the same. All right, this is the Roman Empire in 117 AD. Its greatest extent, so all along the coast they got all that. That's the Roman Empire. All right. So Rome is the America Salaki is the revival of Rome. All right, through the NATO and EU. All right, so gradual decline. All right, the fall of Rome didn't happen in a day. It happened over a long period of time, right? And America's not gonna fall in not in one day, but over a period of time it is. And it's been doing that, since really since way back in the '60s. When the Lord put the Spirit on the elder high priest, Abba Bivens, all right, who was Elijah the prophet. All right, so that's when the fall of America, that's when it started to begin, or the fall of Esau's Edom, you know, their rulership, right? It says the fall of Rome didn't happen in a day; it happened over a long period of time. You know, there are a number of reasons why the empire began to fail. Here are some of the causes of the fall of the Roman Empire. You know, the politicians and rulers of Rome became more and more corrupt. Infighting and civil wars within the empire, attacks from barbarian tribes outside of the empire, such as the Visigoths, Huns, Franks, and Vandals. All right, and we're gonna get a scripture real quick. First, I want to start in Mark. This is Mark 3. So like you got go somewhere where it's quiet. Give me one sec. All right. Salakia. So this is Mark 3, and I'm gonna start at 23, and it says, "And he called them, and he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? All right. And if a kingdom divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end." All right, let's read this in NLT. It says, Mark 3:24 NLT, "A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive." All right, so a kingdom, and that's what happened in the Roman Empire. All right, they'll have infighting and civil wars within the empire. All right, and of course, you know, attacks from the outside of the empire, you know, barbarian tribes, you know, and but it's like that in America. You know, we're not getting outside of, well, really it is, you know, because the people coming in from the border, you know, they're you know, from these different countries, and, you know, we know that some of them are coming from, you know, it could be military age men. All right, some of them could be agents, spies, whatever, you know, terrorists, right? Among them, you know, come from China, you know, I believe it's some from Hamas, you know, different countries, you know, so America's gonna fall within itself, you know. So this is infighting and civil wars within the empire attacks. Let's read this again. Infighting and civil wars within the empire attacks from barbarian tribes outside of the empire, such as the Visigoths, Huns, Franks, and Vandals. The Roman army was no longer a dominant force. All right, and in America, you know, they're no longer a dominant force, right? But let's get this one real quick. This is at 2 Edges 15 and 14. "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." All right. So it's gonna be civil war out in the streets, you know, during these we're in the latter days, but during these times, man, that we're coming upon. All right, people can be fighting one another, you know. It says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right, they're not gonna regard, you know, the mayors, or, you know, the cops, you know, your officials, you know, that run the government, or the president for that matter. Matter of fact, let's see if we can get in the GNT version, see what it says. 15 and 14. So Ezra 15 and 14, it says, "The world and the people in it are doomed. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control, while ignoring the legitimate government. All right. So it's gonna be a political war going on. People are gonna be out in the streets fighting each other, and that's happened during the time of Rome. All right. It says and this one, the Roman army was no longer a dominant force. Let's get Jeremiah 30, Slakia 50. I said 30. Jeremiah 50 and verse 37. All right, Jeremiah 50 verse 37, the KJV. A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword upon her, a sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. All right. NLT. The sword will strike her horses and her chariots and her allies from other lands. Right. Those people coming from through the border. America's allies gonna turn on her. You know. It says they will all become like women. Their army isn't as dominant as it used to be. At one point, everybody wanted to join the army. The army was a dominant force. Army, Navy, whatever. But now it's like, they're a joke now. It says the sword will strike her treasures and they all will be plundered. All right. So the America's army, is no longer dominant. These other nations can stand up with America now. They have their own strong armies. So down here it says Rome divides into two. It says in 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian, that's his name. Sorry for pronouncing that wrong. Decided that the Roman Empire was too big to manage. He divided the empire into two parts: the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. Over the next 100 years or so, Rome would be reunited, split into three parts, and split into two again. Finally, in 395 AD, the empire was split into two for good. The Western Empire was ruled by Rome. The Eastern Empire was ruled by Constantinople, which is Constantine. All right, and this is the map of the Eastern and Western Roman Empire right before the fall. This is the fall of Rome discussed here is referring to the Western Roman Empire, which is ruled by Rome. The Eastern Roman Empire became known as the Byzantium Empire and remained in power for another 1,000 years. All right. So let's get Daniel chapter 2. Let me take this out now. Daniel 2, I'm going to start at verse 40. It says Rome, right? It says in the fourth kingdom shall be. Now Daniel 2 is going to the statue. All right. That I believe it's Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar, he dreamed of a statue, and Daniel interpreted for him. And this is Rome. It says Daniel 2 and 40, in the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as the iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with mirror clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of the iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And this is where we're at in the statue. All right, we're in the part of the toes. All right. It says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with mirror clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And this is the part we're in. divided. The kingdom is divided. All right, and like I said before, America is the revival of the Roman Empire. This is Daniel 7, and I'm gonna start at Daniel 7:7. It says, "After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns." Verse 8, "And I considered the horns, and behold, there come up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were like eyes, and this horn were like Salakia. In this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things." All right, and this is America. All right, this is the little horn that came up. Let's see, it was yeah. So Daniel 7 and 8 is talking about America. That came up out of that was the revival of Rome through the NATO and the EU. All right. It says, we can finish this off. It says the city of Rome was thought by many to be unconquerable, and that's how people think of America. They think that America can't be conquered, or America can't be invaded, or can't be taken down because they think it's a superpower. But it's gonna be taken down soon by our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. It says, however, in 410 A.D., a Germanic barbarian tribe called the Visigoths invaded the city. They looted the treasures, killed and enslaved many Romans, and destroyed many buildings. This was the first time in 800 years that the city of Rome had been sacked. All right, and America is gonna be invaded, and it's being invaded right now. Like I said, through people coming through that border. A lot of people coming through there, man. Especially these people coming from different countries. Not only the Northern Kingdom, but these other heathen nations, right? And they got military age men coming in, and like I said, we don't know who's among them. All right. So it says Rome falls in 476 A.D. A Germanic barbarian by the name of Odoacer took control of Rome. He became king of Italy and forced the last emperor of Rome, Romulus Augustulus, to give up his crown. Many historians consider this to be the end of the Roman Empire. And then the Dark Ages begins. And the Dark Ages, they tell you that nothing happened. But during the Dark Ages, we were ruling. Our people were ruling in the Dark Ages. That's why they call it the Dark Ages. They try to say that, oh, nothing was going on, but no, Esau just wasn't going on. Let's get Revelations. It's 20. Revelations 20 and 1. It says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." All right, and Esau went to them caves. They went to them. They was in the Caucasus Mountains, as we would say, right, as they were called actually. And it says, "And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season." And then the Lord put the spirit on him to come back out, take over through the Renaissance. All right, and that's how that rebirth, because Renaissance means rebirth. All right, and that's how things started they started to take things over. All right. It says it says Rome had the Dark Ages began. With the fall of Rome, many changes occurred throughout Europe. Rome had provided a strong government, education, and culture. Now much of Europe fell into barbarianism. The next 500 years will be known as the Dark Ages of Europe, which Jake was ruling. Our people. Just the interesting facts about the fall of Rome. The Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantium, fell in 1453 to the Ottoman Empire. Many poor people were glad to see Rome fall. They were starving to death while being taxed heavily by Rome. Near the end of the Roman Empire, the city of Rome was no longer the capital. The city of uh, Mediolanum, now Milan, was capital for a while. Later, the capital was removed to Ravenna. Rome was sacked once again in 455 AD by Genseric, king of the Vandals. The Vandals were an Eastern Germanic tribe. The term vandalism comes from the Vandals. All right, and then down here, you got the different things you can go into. You know, uh, so yeah, that was the fall of Rome, and the fall of America is gonna be synonymous. It's kind of like that, But by our Lord Yahweh Shai, He's gonna take down the Roman Empire, not the Roman Empire, America. He's gonna take down Esau, Edom, you know, and the Lord's gonna send those missiles over, all right, and burn this place up. This is I think it's this chapter, or it could be the 19th. Yeah, Revelation 18, I'm gonna start at 9. It says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is the judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men." All right. Um, yeah, I thought it was in this chapter. It says, let me see, it's falling. Nope, it's not. Let me see. I thought it was another. I thought it was. I thought it said, the great city has fallen," but I think I read that in a different translation. But yeah, Salakia for that. But yeah, America, Babylon the Great is gonna be synonymous with the fall of Rome. All right, but the America is going out a different way. The America's gonna be blown to, it's gonna be a lake of fire. All right. So Lord willing, this is edifying. All right, I just want to, I want to bring that out. I read this earlier, and it came to my mind like, hey, this could be how America go out, but in a different way, you know. So Lord willing, this edifying. All right. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, until next video, Lord willing, Shalom.